Kind of hurts Trump, doesn't it? Hurts the country, destroys your citizens. Are you that sick? Are you? I'm just going to throw that out there. Are you that troubled? Why, in the absence of any scientific data, a Democrat or a rhino Republican like Larry Hogan in Maryland would continue to push to bankrupt their states makes no sense if you really believe in science. Try to pick up what I'm putting down here. These lockdowns are not based in science. We don't have a complete lockdown in Florida. We never had a complete lockdown in Florida. And Florida and Georgia, which just opened up most of its economy, are doing just fine right now. They may have some flare-ups. That may happen. But they're doing all the predictions of doom and gloom. None of them came true. Florida opened up its beaches. It's going to be a mass outbreak. None of that's happened. None of it. So where are you getting these evidence? What's the science of the lockdown? Where's your evidence that these lockdowns are doing anything? Matter of fact, we just found out, a couple ironic numbers, that most of the transmission of this virus is happening in the home. And we just found out through some New York data, which isn't a enormous set of data, but it's enough to ask questions, that ironically, the infection rate amongst healthcare workers was lower than the infection rate amongst the general population. I didn't get that wrong. That's some New York data. Again, it's a small set. You don't want to draw too many conclusions, but very odd. Suggesting we don't have a grasp really entirely of how well this thing spreads or why these lockdowns are even necessary anymore. But the Democrats want to continue to lock them down, and their talking point is we got to lock them down, not to flatten the curve. That was their original. Goalpost one. We need to flatten the curve. Curve's been flattened. Now goalpost. Here's the goalpost. Move. But they can't use flatten the curve anymore as a reason to lock it down because it's been flattened. So that talking point is done. And their media idiots play along. They needed a new one, and testing and tracing is their new talking point. Why? Because you can never test enough. Therefore, here's the goalpost. Woo, right off camera. There is no goalpost because it keeps moving, so it's effectively not a goalpost at all because you'll never score a goal. Because when you test someone, that test is good at that acute moment in time. That's it. That test is not valid 10 seconds later if you walk out of your house and encounter the coronavirus. You'd have to get tested again and again. And again, which makes it a perpetually moving goalpost, which makes it no goalpost at all. In other words, if we can open up the economy when we reach a certain testing point, which they'll never give you, we would have scored a goal. You can't score a goal on a goalpost that isn't there. So testing and tracing is their new talking point. It is becoming their cause celeb for keeping the economy locked down, which is doing significant damage to the American citizen and significant damage to the president's reelection chances too. Just a fact. Can you argue that? Please argue that with me. No, it's not doing damage to the American citizen? Please explain that to me. As I said on Hannity last night, food supply is now strained. Hospitals are bankrupt. You can't even get a roll of toilet paper anywhere in the state of Florida anymore. You have people missing medical procedures. Cancer diagnoses are down. Why? Because there's less cancer? No, because people have cancer and don't know because they're not going to the doctor. Alcohol abuse, drug abuse, suicide hotlines are exploding. Yeah, explain. Don't factor any of that in. Lock it down, crowd. None. We need testing and tracing. Idiots. So it's a permanently moving goalpost because they don't want the economy to open up. Your business and your family be damned. They don't care. You have a tyrant up in Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, a total abomination to humankind. Hogan in Maryland, Wolf in Pennsylvania. I'm getting all your emails from Pennsylvania. People begging me to talk about it. Wolf in Pennsylvania, who is now threatening to withhold money from counties. But please, someone sue the living snot out of Tom Wolf in Pennsylvania, one of the worst governors in the country, an abomination to humankind. Now, here's Limbaugh from yesterday. It's a Real Clear investigation, Real Clear Politics, one of them. They have a bunch of different titles, but it's up in the show notes. Please read this, Bongino.com/newsletter. Check this out. Be up at BonginoReport.com too. Again, why the shutdown? So here's Limbaugh. Put up that Real Clear piece. So this is a piece by Ian Schwartz, Real Clear Politics, sorry. Limbaugh, next 4 months will be war like you've never seen. Dems will try to keep the economy shut down. Now, here's a transcript from Rush's show yesterday, and there's a lot of it. You can read the whole transcript, but I just want to highlight this one part because Rush brings up an interesting point. There's no science behind these lockdowns. Again, Georgia opened up, and the apocalyptic predictions of mass death and World War Z, Walking Dead type zombie apocalypse in Georgia, none of that's actually come true. So I'm asking again, where's the science behind the lockdown? Where's your science? We believe in science. When Democrats say they believe in science, they really mean they believe in politics. So here's what Limbaugh said yesterday on his show. Quote, Limbaugh, they shut down and locked down, and they want to remain locked down until July or August or whatever. And nothing's going to open and nothing's going to happen. And they fully expect the red states to sit there and essentially pay for it. Folks, I'm going to tell you, these next 4 months are going to be a veritable war like we've never seen. The American left and the Democrat Party is going to do its best to keep this economy shut down, to expand and extend that shutdown and blow up their own country's jobs just to ensure that Trump loses. That's not someone knocking on my door. That's me banging my foot on the bottom of the desk, if that's coming across. So I ask you this. If the Democrats and the rhinos like Larry Hogan in Maryland are keeping their economies shut down in these states, it's not based on science. You have no evidence that that's done. The science isn't saying that at all. It's saying most of the transmission is by people being locked down in their homes with people who are infected. So I'm not interested in your science talking point because it's not science. It's your science talking point. There's a difference. It's not real science based on real data. So if you're not doing it because of science, if you're not doing it anymore to flatten the curve, curves have been flattened. If you're not doing it to open up hospital beds are open. People aren't even going to the doctor, which is causing some of them, sadly, to miss diagnoses, who may die later. Why are you doing it? Kind of hurts Trump, doesn't it? Hurts the country, destroys your citizens. Are you that sick? I'm just going to throw that out there. Are you that troubled?
You just heard the Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.